ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। Hari Om, salutations to all. Welcome to the study of the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which is called Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. So, in the 10th chapter, we see it is the Vibhuti Yoga. And Bhagavan explains his special manifestations, though the whole world is pervaded by the Lord. Where can we recognize him specially? And so the one in many is explained in the 10th chapter. In the 11th chapter, it is many in one. The whole universe he will see in one form. Not universe, many universes he will see. Why? Because Bhagavan said in the 10th chapter at the end that this entire manifestation is just one part of his infinite glory. Vishtabhyaham idam Krishnam ekam shena sthito jagat. So that's what he says, that this whole universe is this whole creation is just one small fragment of his infinite glory. Vishtabhyaham idam Krishnam ekanshena sthito jagat. So now when Bhagavan said that entire, whatever is manifest is one small amsha of the total. Now naturally there's a desire in Arjun to see that one, that huge, that massive form in which this entire creation is only one small amsha. So he wants to see the whole. Krishnam he wants to see. See, when we intellectually know something, how do we know that it is successfully understood by us, one of the methods is it will transform our heart. When I understand something, then my emotions also will get connected with that. And then, of course, I can implement in the action. So then, thought, emotion, action. That alignment of this TEAT, thought, emotion, action. This alignment is what is called yoga. And so, when any idea, if you see, suppose I'm convinced that smoking is not good for me, it should create that bhav in me that I want to drop it. If I'm smoking, then the feeling should come that I should drop it. Otherwise, that knowledge is not producing the right result. It's not making that feeling arise. Even if it makes that feeling arise, or that feeling arises, some other attachment overpowers it, so that knowledge has become weaker than the attachment. So where we come to understand that, oh, who is this God? Arjuna has understood in 10 chapters so many aspects about Bhagwan. From what his understanding was in the beginning of the Gita to what it is now, there's a vast difference in his perception about Bhagwan. And so that bhav has come in him now. When Bhagwan said that one small fragment is this entire manifest universe, now the natural feeling is I want to see that. It's not just some curiosity, because that will not last. It is a deep love for the Lord, because of which that desire has risen in his heart, and he wants to see. You will see that in his expressions, we will understand that. And then Bhagwan shows him also. So one of the most beautiful chapters, unique chapters, mystical chapters is this. Of so many 18 chapters, this is one of the most mystical ones, and extremely unique. You know, many people say Gita is only dry philosophy. It is not dry philosophy only. There is practical demonstration in so many places in the Gita. And you and I can also apply and demonstrate and learn. I mean, apply and learn and transform our life. Here, specifically, Bhagwan gives some unique insight and sight both to Arjun. That can happen only by Bhagwan's grace. In this chapter, it literally shows. So it's not theory. See, a devotee who loves Bhagwan wants to see Bhagwan not only in the form in which the devotee is worshipping, but also in flesh and blood, physically. And here is the desire that Arjun has to see the entire universe in the Lord. The Vishwarup he wants to see now, not only Ishtarupa. Not only Bhagwan as the world that he already saw in the Vibhuti Yoga. Bhagwan in flesh and blood is seeing in front of him right there. His Ishta is Lord Shiva. He has worshipped Lord Shiva, and Bhagwan Shiva's darshan also he has had. Vishwarup he has not had. This 11th chapter is Vishwarup Darshan Yoga. So very unique chapter, and because Bhagwan had said in the 10th chapter at the end, so continuity of the 11th chapter, continuity of flow of thought, the 11th chapter is by Arjun's expression. Now, this is about Arjun. We will see as we go along what did Arjun see, but why do we have to know this? Arjun saw some cosmic form. What is the purpose for us to know? Many people don't understand why this 11th chapter is there, or what is the practical application of 11th chapter in my life. Many things are there in the 11th chapter. Absolute humility. You will see Arjun's question is only out of humility. One of the most important things in spiritual life is humility. The more humble I am, the more easier it will be to live the spiritual knowledge and to experience the spiritual truth. So 11th chapter brings tremendous humility. Imagine countless universes and the entire creation and multitudes of creation cycles, etc., are in one small part of that infinite Lord. And Vedanta is telling we are that. Imagine what have we lost, what have we dropped, what have we forgotten, and what have we identified with. So when one becomes humble, this 11th chapter brings absolute humility and also brings us the nature of the truth, absolute truth, that you and I are that infinite truth, whose one part is this entire creation. One infinitesimal small part is that creation. Our true nature is that infinite truth. Then it also brings out different aspects of the bhakta. Arjun suddenly realizes, Arey, this Krishna I was thinking, we have grown up together, and how much I underestimated him, underrated him, and thought of him as, just my friend. And I called him names, hey Krishna, hey Yadava, but he's Bhagwan. What did I do? So he feels repentance also, he seeks forgiveness also. So many beautiful things are there. The whole understanding of time and space that you and I have, we think it is real, but time and space is not real. If that whole time and space is shrunk, the entire creation will go be, no, it will not be exist only. That Einstein came to know at that time, then many scientists discovering it even today. But if you see 11th chapter, it will explain all that. Here is the chapter in which Bhagwan describes himself as the destruction also, that he has become that devourer of the whole universe as death. And that verse was quoted by Oppenheimer when the first nuclear blast was tested, in America. The movie also came out, and many of you must be knowing that. So many wondrous things are there in this chapter. So let us see that what we study is not only theory, but Arjun actually saw. Let us see. A very fascinating chapter this is. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha Atha Ekadashodhyayah Arjuna Uvacha Madanugrahaya Paramam Guhyamadhyatma Sangnitam Yatra Yoktam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. So Bhagavan says, Arjun says, Madanugrahaya, out of compassion for me, because Bhagavan had said even in the 10th chapter earlier, Teshameva anukampartham aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayami atmabhavastha jnana deepena bhasvata. Out of great compassion for such devotees, Teshameva anukampartham. Who are those devotees? Those who constantly remember him. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam. Such devotees who are engaged in thinking about the Lord, speaking about the Lord. They have great devotion for the Lord. For such devotees, Bhagavan says, I destroy their ignorance by the lamp of knowledge. That we saw in the 10th chapter. Arjun acknowledges that here. He says, only purely out of your compassion you have given me this knowledge. Especially of the 10th chapter, the Vibhuti Yoga. Madanugrahaya Paramam. Guhyam Adhyatma Sangnitam. That very subtle knowledge, which is a spiritual knowledge, Adhyatma Sangnitam. And Guhyam. Yatva Yoktam. The words that you have spoken. Vachastena. Through those words. Mohoyam Vigato Mama. My delusion has gone. That's the simple meaning of this shloka. My delusion is gone, meaning what delusion is gone? In this context, we have to understand that his delusion that Krishna is an ordinary human being is gone. because he realizes now Bhagwan is, I mean, the one who is in front of him is Bhagwan himself. Through 10 chapters, he has understood that very clearly. And he feels that. And that's why the desire you will see in the next two verses to see the Vishwarupa Bhagwan. So his false notions that Krishna is an ordinary human being, or Krishna is just a cowherd boy, or he is just, my friend, all that is gone. Now he is very clear that he is Bhagwan himself. And when Bhagwan said that, the entire creation, everything is one small part of me, my infinite nature, then definitely delusion has gone. That's why he has a desire to know. So now this is the simple meaning of this shloka. Let us see little more aspects. So when he says Mad Anugrahaya, a beautiful expression here. Bhagwan showed him the vibhutis in the 10th chapter. So when Arjun uses purely out of compassion, you have showed this to me, Mad Anugrahaya. Anugraha is that compassion. So Mad Anugrahaya, only surely out of that compassion for me, you have shown this entire vibhuti, all this, more than 70 examples he gave. Not to convince Arjun to do his duty, or to make him fight, or to make Arjun believe what Bhagwan had said earlier in the 9 chapters. None of those are the motives of Bhagwan. Then what is the motive of Bhagwan here? Only compassion for Arjun. Because Arjun said, Keshu Keshu cha bhaveshu chintyosi Bhagavan Maya. In which all forms should I worship you? Should I think about you? You are all pervading, no doubt. So, and also Bhagavan said, Vibhuti and Aishwarya. Whoever knows my Vibhuti and Aishwarya will be blessed with Avikampa Yogena. So Vikampena Yogena Yujyate Natra Samshaya. That he said. So now Arjun wants to see his Vibhuti and his Aishwarya. If you listen to Gurudev's talk on this, beautifully he explained. The 10th chapter is Vibhuti, 11th chapter is Aishwarya. Aishwarya of Bhagavan he will show. Everything is in the Lord, and simultaneously the whole creation, sustenance, destruction, many things are happening. Everything in one place. Arjun sees. That's the Aishwarya of Bhagavan. So Bhagavan had said earlier that whoever knows my Vibhuti, my Aishwarya will come to me, no doubt about it. So Arjun, here he says that purely out of compassion, Bhagavan, I asked you that please show me your Vibhuti, and you showed me. Not because of anything else. See, this is one very, very important aspect in sadhana that we have to understand is compassion of Bhagavan. A devotee or a seeker will attain great amount of bhakti, gratitude, and emotional strength and security when one understands that Bhagavan does not judge us. Bhagavan may give the karma phala as per our karmas, no doubt, but his compassion exceeds everything. Just because some negative karma is done, negative result will come, but that does not make Bhagavan feel that he is a sinner and he does not deserve my compassion. If you see all the Puranic stories and everything, all the demons who were killed also attained the loka of Bhagavan. Bhagavan gives liberation to them also. Compassion of Bhagavan is unconditional. And so the idea is not to take advantage of that and feel that I can do anything and get away with it because Bhagavan is compassionate. No, the idea is the more I understand Bhagavan's compassion, the more dharmic I will become. The more I revel in that compassion, that Bhagavan's compassion is there every moment, his grace is with me. And he doesn't calculate. Bhagavan is not calculative. You and I calculate. Bhagavan's love is unconditional. In spite of, the only one who can love us truly as we are is Bhagavan. And whatever the devotee desires, Bhagavan will fulfill. Sincerely, what devotee desires, Bhagavan will fulfill. Sometimes he fulfills very fast. Arjun told You show me this Vishwarup, and Bhagwan immediately showed. Then you see this, the 11th chapter, you will see that also. It's a fantastic chapter to understand the compassion of Bhagwan also. As soon as Arjun tells, Bhagwan shows not a second of delay. Immediate. But Arjun can't see. Then Bhagwan realizes, oh, you can't see. Now I have to give you Divya Chakshu. Then through that he will be able to see. So 2 times actually he shows. If you see this 11th chapter, Bhagwan shows Vishwarup Darshan 2 times. Why Bhagwan showed immediately? That shows his love and compassion. Arjun said, Bhagwan, I want to see your vibhutis. Immediately he showed 70 plus, he explained so many and showed Arjun his glories. Then he said, I want to see Vishwarupa. Immediate. The devotee who is Ananya Bhakta of Bhagwan, those who has surrendered to Bhagwan, Bhagwan ensures that the devotee, whatever is best for the devotee's evolution, Bhagwan is more than keen to do it. It is only we who block our evolution with our regrets and we hold on to some attachment, some wrong notions about ourselves, and then we think that it will take long time. I am a sinner, and our force of habit does not allow us to transform. But if we anchor in this, ki Madanugrahaya Paramam, Bhagwan's Kripa is with me. Is Kripa Bhagwan only we are studying the Gita also. We are able to understand, we are able to absorb, whatever we are able to apply, all Kripa Bhagwan only. What is our Purushartha? Hardly anything. That also is Kripa Bhagwan. So this 11th chapter begins only with that. Madanugrahaya Paramam. And so he says here that, it is not because you want me to fight or to make me believe your advice or any other reason. I know that you have done this out of pure grace alone, compassion alone. And Madanugrahaya. Now, in this one shloka, he has given the essence of 10 chapters. How? So, Adhyatma Sangnitam. Adhyatma Sangnitam is from chapter 1 to chapter 7. Yatvayoktam Vachastena. With what words you have spoken, which is Adhyatma Sangnitam. Why? Because Adhyatma is the self. The first 6 chapters are about Atma, meaning the Tvampada. Who am I? So Karma Yoga, how to purify the mind, and then how to do contemplation, and then how to realize the truth, the nature of our true self. That is Adhyatma Sangnitam. That is first 6 chapters. He says, with that what knowledge you gave, Mohoyam Vigato Mamo, my delusion is gone. Meaning I know now that I am not only this Arjun. I am infinite consciousness. That Tattva Jnana Arjun has got. Then this Guhyam word indicates the secret knowledge. So you remember this 7th chapter to 9th chapter. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yoga, etc. comes. No? So that Guhyam word indicates 7 to 9 chapter. And Paramam indicates the 10th chapter. So he says, what you have taught me till now. Why he's building this base? Because based on what you have taught me till now, these 10 chapters, this desire is there now. The next shloka I will express is my desire. So he says, with that, what you have taught, Mohoyam Vigato Mama, my delusion is gone. That we just saw, the delusion about who Bhagwan is, that delusion is gone. Who he is, that delusion also is gone. In the sense that at least he is known now that I am the Atma, I am not only a mortal being, all that he knows now. And that Bhagwan alone is manifesting in this universe, all that, So Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, Jnana he has got. Now one commentator said very nicely, it is not based on Sanskrit, but it is based on the play of words, So if you see the second line, he says that Bhagwan, you have actually stolen. You have stolen away what? Mohoyam Vigato Mama, he says. No, you have stolen away my moha. because he is a looter. Na? Bhagwan not only loots the butter, but here he says, you have looted away my moha also. Where is that word looter in this? So if you see the second line, yatva yoktam vachas tena. So actual splitting is vachaha and tena. Words and by that. That's what it means. Vachaha and tena. But that's why I said this is not based on Sanskrit. This is based on just the play of words to derive a beautiful meaning out of it. Stena. Stena means a thief. So if you take that sa with tena, stena means a thief. Meaning you are a thief not only of the butter, not only of the hearts of the gopis, but you are a stealer. You are a thief who has stolen my delusion. And because my delusion has gone, what happens? You know, when delusion goes, bhakti arises. Binu satsangana harikatha, tehi binu mohana bhag, moha gaye binu ram pada, hoina dridha anurag. Such a beautiful line Tulsidas ji said. Binu satsangana harikatha. Without satsang, we will not get to know the glories of Bhagavan Hari. Till we don't listen to the glories of Bhagavan Hari, tehi binu mohana bhag. Moha will not go. When moha goes, then what happens? Moha gaye binu rama pada hoina dridha anurag. Till moha does not go, the firm delusion, a firm devotion to the feet of Bhagavan Ram will not arise. Now Arjun's moha is gone. See, moha goes meaning also what? So much fascination we have for the world outside. Our mind runs behind world, behind money, power, pleasure, prestige, popularity, travel, food, car, position, money, clothes. It all runs behind all this. One may use any of these for functional roles, etc. But craving, with this only I feel great, and with that I am so nice, and when I go there I will feel so amazing. That is all moha. One may feel whatever one may feel, but the real source of happiness is here and now. Atma is a source of happiness. Everything else is reflected happiness. Now that delusion, when it is gone, like how we don't have any delusion about childhood toys. We know that that's a teddy bear, there's nothing real about it. But when one was a child, your delusion was there. And the teddy bear is so real, and without it one can't sleep. And if somebody else has taken, one is so disturbed, crying, and all that happens, right? Now mohoyam vigato mama. No moha towards that. Even if we play with it, nothing, it doesn't bind us. There's no attraction to it, no aversion to it. One may still play with it to please a child. That is the state. Mohoyam vigato mama means that the fascination for the world is gone. If at all one sees the world, one will see as what we saw in the 10th chapter, Vibhutiya Bhagavan, glory of Bhagavan. One may have some curiosity to know, learn something, to know something, to see the divine play. But craving is not there. For Arjun, that state happened. So when that is not there, then bhakti will arise. And Bhagavan, Tulsidas ji said, Dridha Anurag. So deep and strong will be the devotion when moha is gone. Why? Because all exaggerated value we have given to things and beings and situations bursts. We come to see the reality as it is. What Bhagavan has said in the earlier chapters, Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. 9th chapter he said, it is a abode of dukkha and it is perishable, Ashashvatam. Why run behind it when the whole source of happiness is here and imperishable? And Bhagavan is standing right in front of Arjun there, ready to do what Arjun wants. How much more should one wait? So Arjun says, my delusion is gone, and now because of that delusion which has gone, you see that result, bhakti has risen in his heart. And when bhakti rises, one wants to experience oneness with the Lord. One wants to see you. So as I said earlier, Bhagavan, he has seen the Ishtadevta's Rupa, he has seen Bhagavan in the physical form as an avatar. He understood Bhagavan is the all-pervading reality, consciousness. Then he is understood about the special vibhutis of Bhagavan. Now he knows that Bhagavan's kripa is with him. That's why he saw so many vibhutis. Now, as a result of that, what happens? That Bhagavan has elaborately explained till 10th chapter, so many things he has explained. Now he is giving a proof of how his delusion, what delusion has gone, that how he sees the Lord now. When we said earlier that his delusion has gone, meaning his perception about Bhagwan has changed, what has changed? That he says in the second chapter, second verse. Bhavapyayau hi bhutanam shrutau vistarasho maya tvatta kamalapatraksha mahatmyamapi chavyayam. So he says, Bhavapyayau hi bhutanam. Bhava means creation, and apyaya means dissolution. So the origin and the dissolution of all the beings, bhutanam, shrutau vistarasho maya. I have heard elaborately from you. So many times Bhagavan said, like if you remember in the 10th chapter, the first vibhuti that he started explaining, he says, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhuta Shaya Sthitaha. Then Prabhava Pralaya Sthanam Nidhanam Bijam Avyayam. I am the Prabhava Pralaya Sthana. I am the origin and I am the state of dissolution into which everything comes back. So like that, many places he has said about his nature as Ishvara, the creator, sustainer and destroyer of the whole universe, and does not mean that he is separate from the universe and creates, sustains and destroys. Gurudev used to say, God is not like a manager who is producing products and throwing it into the market. He only is the cause from where the universe arises. In him it stays, into him it goes back. That is the substratum, that Ishvara is a substratum, and which means the cause alone appears as the effect and merges back into the effect. The pot rises from the mud, stays in mud, goes back to mud, which means there's only mud. There's no pot actually. That's what it means here. Bhavapyayau hi bhutanam shrutau vistarasho maya. Elaborately I've heard about this from you. Tvattah, from you. Kamalapatraksha, the one whose eyes are like the lotus flower, the leaf of the, not leaf, petal. Kamalapatra can mean lotus also, leaf also, but here specifically because eyes are there, so the shape of the eye is like the lotus flower, that one petal, lotus petal, like that. So Kamalapatraksha, Mahatmyam api chavyam, and I have also understood about your inexhaustible, imperishable greatness. So as Ishvara, I have known about you. As Brahman, I have known about you. As the immutable, changeless consciousness, that is this Avyayam. And Mahatmyam also, I have seen your glorious expressions also. And as a part of that Mahatmyam, you said one small part is this entire creation. And so, I know you as the Atma Swarupa, I know you as Brahma Swarupa, I know you as Ishvara, and I know you as the Vibhutis also, and I know you as Avatar who is standing here. Now I want to see the Vishwarupa. And so here he says that Maheshwara, Parameshwara, that Rupa I want to see, which is in this context indicating the Vishwarupa. And so when he says this, the base he has built, the first shloka he says, the all knowledge that you have given, that has removed my delusion. And what delusion has been removed? I thought you as an only ordinary person. Now I know that you are Ishvara, you are Brahman, you are, this avatar. You are the one manifesting in the whole creation. All vibhutis of yours I've come to know. Now, whatever you have said is true as it is. Third shloka he says, Evam etadyathāthatvam atmanam parameshvara drashtumichhami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. Beautiful. Evam etad yathathatvam. Evam etad. Whatever you have said is true. Now I understood. It's not intellectual information. which, sometimes we have skepticism about spiritual knowledge and truths. And first time when we hear world is not real, it is illusory, God alone is real, you are not this body, you are the Atma. Sometimes we get skeptical saying, what? How can all this be? And there is natural state that one comes into doubt and questioning and disbelief. Arjun says all that is crossed now. Whatever you said is true. Evam etad yathathatvam. Atmanam Parameshwara. What you have told about you, Atmanam, is true. Meaning all these different levels, Brahman and Ishvara, and then the whole creation, and then the Ishta, then the avatar, all, everything. Because Bhagavan has spoken about all this in 10 chapters. Avatar is spoken in the 4th chapter, and Vibhuti Yoga also, and then about creation and about Brahman. Everywhere he has spoken in this. So he says, all that you have told about you, O Parameshwara, O Supreme Lord, is all true. It's as though Arjun is giving a certificate to Bhagavan. Correct. What you have said is truth. Means you are not bluffing. You listen to Gurudev, he sometimes jokes like that, saying Arjun is giving certificate to Bhagavan. That you are, till now I used to think maybe you are bluffing little bit here and there, but no. Now I authentically certify that whatever you have said, evam etad yathathatvam, everything is true. See the relationship between Bhagavan and Bhakta. And Bhagavan is not saying, who are you to give me certificate? Without me you will not exist, and you are giving me certificate. Bhagavan and Bhakta, beautiful, sweet relationship it is. Bhagavan also is very happy, saying, oh, I got a certificate from my devotee. Whatever I've said is true. But why is Arjun saying that whatever you have said is true? Because he is convinced. And because he is convinced, now there's a bhav in him that I want to see now. If he is not convinced, the desire will not arise, only the bhav only will not arise. One will still be thinking, acha, okay, maybe some doubts are there, I still want to reflect, I still don't believe this, I still feel this is not possible. Some skepticism, etc. may be there. Now he says, I know everything what you have said is true. Evam etad yathathatvam Atmanam Parameshwara, O Supreme Lord, whatever you told about you. Now what is the result of that? Drashtum ichhami te rupam. So there's a desire in my heart to see your form. Which form? Aishwaram. Remember, Aishwara, I said, is that Vibhuti, is the Vishwarupa. Vibhuti and Aishwarya, Bhagavan said in the 10th chapter, whoever knows my Vibhuti and my Aishwarya will come to me. So one in many is Vibhuti, and many in one is the Aishwarya, which is this Vishwarupa. So basically, Vibhuti Darshan, Vishwarup Darshan, together if one has, one will attain oneness with Bhagavan. Now, that's why he says, Drashtum ichhami te rupam. That Bhagavan, I want to see that form. Which form? What you said earlier, the 10th chapter, that last verse. Ekam shena sthito jagat vishtabhyaham idam kritsnam. And I am, and earlier also before that he says, Nantosti divyanam vibhutinam. There is no end to my vibhutis, O Arjuna. Whatever you are seeing, Yadyad vibhuti mat sattvam Srimad Urjitam evava tattadeva vagachatvam mama teja amsha sambhavam, is born from my one little small amsha of my teja. Whatever vibhutis you are seeing here. So he says, I want to see the whole now. You are saying this whole creation is one amsha of yours, then who is amshi? What is the total? I want to see that. See this desire now. In front of this desire, will any other desire stand? These are the practical things to learn from this 11th chapter. There is infinite things one can learn practically from the Gita. If somebody says that the Gita is theoretical, we don't know how to apply, that means they have not studied properly or they have not reflected on it properly. Every single shloka is applicable. What all he is saying, you see here. That knowledge because of which Bhagavan, that knowledge which Bhagavan gave till now, That knowledge is the driving force for him to have this desire to see. That's the beauty of that knowledge. See, knowledge by itself will not do anything, but when that knowledge comes in a pure mind, that pure mind, it will transform and it will make that pure mind feel. It will make that pure mind transformed. It will make that pure mind desire to be one with the Lord, to see the Lord, to serve the Lord. That sweetness will come. That knowledge will bring that sweetness. Otherwise, if we think that knowledge is some intellectual thing, only meant for arguments or, proving something to somebody, that is not the purpose of knowledge. Purpose of knowledge is to destroy our ahankar, to make us have bhakti, to have sharanagati, to surrender to the Lord, to understand the infinity. So that bhav here is this, that Arjun says, drashtum ichhami te rupam. Think about it. In any form of Bhagavan, do we have this level of desire that Bhagavan, I want to see? It may be any form. It may be Ishtadevata's form, that I want to see you in this form as my Ishtadevata. Every day I am worshipping this form, I want to see you in this form. Now, if I am not ready for it, you have to make me ready. That's what you will see in this 11th chapter. Bhagavan shows, but Arjun is not ready. So Bhagavan only gives Divya Chakshu. So we pray to Bhagavan, saying, Bhagavan, if you think that I am not ready to see your form even as Ishta, you only have to make me ready. Now you make me ready. But I want to see. Or I want to see you in this whole world. Or I want to see your vibhutis. Or I want to see essentially the oneness. In my heart, I want to experience oneness with you as consciousness. Or here it is, Vishwarup, I want to see. The desire to see God, to experience God, to be one with God, is that desire which will help us to drop everything else. That's why Mohoyam Vigato Mama. Two meanings that has. One is the delusion about Bhagwan being ordinary and we underrating and undermining Bhagwan. That delusion goes. And the glorification that we have given to the world, that will go. That bhakti then arises, that I want to see. Ramakrishna was so, earnest, sincere, single pointed to have darshan of Mother Kali every day, and he will feel. One more day went, I did not have darshan of Mother Kali. This is after he remembering Mother Kali through the day. It is not like us, whole day we forgotten Bhagwan and then night we sit and think, one more day went, Bhagwan didn't give darshan. If we are doing that Karma Yoga Seva, remembering Bhagwan, etc., then that's a different matter. But sometimes we don't, we forget. We live as individual, ordinary human beings, identified with the ego. Ramakrishna remembers the mother through the day. He worships the mother. He is a pujari there in the Dakshineshwar Mandir. He is doing archana, he is doing worship and full with bhavana and with the sincere desire that I want to have your darshan. And he counts, one more day went, it didn't happen, one more day went, it didn't happen. One day he gets upset. He says, enough is enough now. He takes the khadga from her form. He says, now either you give darshan or I'm killing myself. That intensity is what I am meaning here. And how will that intensity come? It will come through satsang, it will come through regular bhakti, it will come through reflection. To Arjun, that has come, 10 chapters. And he wants to feel. Now he has forgotten about war and he has to fight and who is standing in front of him. And see, the mind has got lifted to what a different height. That's the power of this knowledge. If I'm studying Vedant, if I'm studying Brahma Vidya, that knowledge, if it lifts my vision and my emotion, both uplifts me to a different level. I may still do my duties in the world, but my deepest longing is to know the Lord, is to be one with the Lord, is to have darshan of the Lord. And it is our mind's skepticism and so-called limitation which makes us feel, no, it is not possible to have darshan of Bhagavan. Who told? Our mind told. Or somebody we have heard, so-called rational, logical people who say that, you know, God is a creation of human being, God does not exist, and all those kind of arguments. So we feel it's only a support system, it is a crutch. Ultimately, I am Brahman, I have to realize that only, then why do I need the crutch? All kinds of wrong notions. What does the Shastra say? Shastra says you can have darshan of Bhagwan. What does the life of saints say? How many saints have realized Bhagwan, oneness with the Lord, have had darshan of Bhagwan? Then why should I not desire to have darshan of Bhagwan? That's why we say that the first word, na, Madanugrahaya, is so important. It is our mind which makes us feel I am not capable, I am not deserving, Bhagwan won't give darshan to me, or will I be able to get darshan? It is all our stupidity. We have to put that aside, sincerely, with all bhakti and devotion, pray to Bhagwan that I want to see you. Even if we don't get darshan every single day, if the intense longing is there, Bhagwan, I want to see you, I want to see you, I want to see you, that Bhagavad Chintan itself is enough to get us out of so many attachments and entanglements in the world. Because my desire is so elevated, so exalted, so subtle, so, and it should be deep. And that is what the power of knowledge is. It's not some superficial desire, I want to see Bhagwan also. No, no, drashtumicchami te rupam. Single pointedly, I want to see Bhagwan's form. And which form? That form which nobody else has seen till now. Arjun is asking that. Aishwaram Rupam Adbhutam. Adbhutam, that comes in next other shloka, but Aishwaram Purushottama. I want to see your cosmic form. Aishwaram word here represents that Vishwarupa, cosmic form. And you are the Purushottama. For you, nothing is impossible. You are the Uttama Purusha, you are supreme, there is nothing greater than you. So for you, it is not anything impossible to show. I want to see, you are not incapable of showing, you are the most capable of showing. So dikhao. You know, it is almost similar, it's almost like a right that Arjun has, as though he has a right to see the form. I want to see, you are the best person, now you show. But there's no arrogance in that. There is like a, like a child who demands from the parents, I want. Sometimes the child, is stubborn and does some jid also, but out of love only. So like that, here he says, Bhagavan, I want to see. But there's humility also in this. That you will see in the next shloka. See, when we see, that's another important aspect. To see any form of Bhagavan, first of all, our senses are not capable. And these senses are so limited. Even to see Ishtadevata's form, these senses are not capable, by the way. Forget cosmic form. If Bhagavan manifests just as his simple form, like Shiva, Ganesha, Krishna, even that form, the physical senses can't see. Only by Bhagavan's kripa, a different type of a vision can come, one will see. Of course, senses must be purified, one has done that sadhana, all that, still senses can't reach. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha, Upanishad says. That is not only applicable to the infinite, it is applicable even to the specific form. Bhagavan only prepares the bhakta to make that bhakta see Bhagavan in that form also as Ishtadevata. Cosmic form is so very unique and absolutely rare. But this is Ishtarupa. Even for Ishtarupa, our senses are not ready. But the bhav in the devotee's heart is, I want to see. Because see, the world we think is real because of perception only. And all said and done, even how much ever deepest, subtlest philosophy I may study, the heart is still conditioned to experience through the senses. Because continuously I am experiencing the world through the senses. So I want to see Bhagavan also through the senses. And when so many Mahatmas and saints have got darshan of Bhagavan, then that is a proof that I can also get. And that desire will make that person more deeper, go deeper into the devotion, more single pointed in the seeking of the Lord. It will purify and train the senses also, the prana also, the mind also, everything, the whole body, mind, intellect, everything will get aligned to that higher purpose. That my desire is to see Bhagavan. And that's why you will see so many devotees who uh, they say we don't even want mukti. We want to be able to serve you. Bharatji tells that to Bhagavan Ram so clearly. Arthana, dharmana, arthana, kama, ruchi, gatina, chahu, nirvan. I don't want dharma, artha, kama, righteousness and wealth and prosperity and enjoyment. Gatina, chahu, nirvan. I don't even want mukti. Then what do I want? Janama, janama, rati, rama, pada. Birth after birth, I want devotion to your lotus feet. Yavardhanana an. Some other devotees, they say, I don't mind taking birth, but may I be born as the Kadamba tree below which you are playing the flute. May I be born as the cow whom you are tending into the forest. May I be born as the stone on the banks of Yamuna where you are doing your leelas. So Bhakta has that bhavana. Absolute vairagya somebody has, then that person thinks that I want to be one with the Lord in terms of infinite consciousness. Otherwise, it is better to have this bhav that I want to see Bhagavan. And then Bhagavan only will give that Atma Jnana also. So the Bhakta who wants Sagun Sakar Darshan of Bhagavan will anyway get Nirgun Nirakar also. Why prevent oneself from Sagun Sakar? The beauty of Sagun Sakar is indescribable. For thousands of years, the rishis meditate sometimes and then Bhagavan gives darshan to them. They wait for that. They take birth many, many times for that. In fact, Bhagavan takes avatar for such devotees. When he says Paritranaya Sadhunam, that's his main purpose. He does not come to destroy Ravan. For that, his sankalpa is enough to destroy Ravan. He comes Paritranaya Sadhunam. When sadhus are there, and you see in Ram Leela or Krishna Leela, anywhere you will see. How many countless devotees are there who are sincerely waiting for Bhagavan and Bhagavan gives darshan to all of them. He came for them mainly. One reason is secondary reason is okay, Ravan also has to be killed. Rakshasas have to be killed. Okay. Main reason is this. So Bhakta has that bhav. I want to see. Every day if you think about it, when we sit to do the puja, if we sit with that bhav that today Bhagavan will give me darshan, how much intensity in our sadhana will increase. When we say that Bhagavan is right here, whether it's in the Shivalinga or the Shaligrama or whatever is the support that I am, whatever is the symbol that I am worshipping, that I invoke Bhagavan. Now Bhagavan is there. Now my bhavana is Bhagavan is sitting there. And then if Bhagavan is sitting there, then what will I do? How will I behave? If that bhav if one creates, that is the beauty of the sadhana. That Bhagavan has been invoked in this particular Murti or Shivalinga, Shaligram, whatever it is. I am worshipping, but I also want to see Bhagavan in the form. And so that desire will become intense, that today may Bhagavan give me darshan. So if that bhav is there, that's what Arjun is feeling here. Drashtum ichhami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. Now Arjun feels, now see his humility, that's where it comes. So there is love, there is a certain demand, and yet there is a humility also, there is no arrogance. See this. Manyase yadi tachakyam maya drashtumiti prabho yogeshwara tato me tvam darshayatmanam avyayam. Drashtumichhami, manyase yadi tachakyam. If you think this is possible, manyase yadi, if tachakyam, this is possible, maya drashtum, that it is possible for me to have this vision, to have this darshan. He says, I have the desire, but if you feel I am capable, then Yogeshwara tato me tvam. Then, O Yogeshwara, then you please show me. Darshayatmanam avyayam. Please show me your imperishable nature. This is a simple meaning. Now, there are two things. One is called desire or ruchi, interest. Other is called samarthya, capability. So the interest and capability both must be there. I may have a lot of interest in playing cricket, but if I don't know only many things about cricket, I don't have capability, then what will I do? I can't represent India at the highest level just because I have a desire in my mind. I must also be capable, qualified. Same way, I may feel that, I want to go and vote. Arey, if I am not 18 years old, how will I go and vote? I want to drive a vehicle. I am only 13 years old, but technically I can't drive. Even though I may know or I may have learned somehow, I am not eligible yet, I am not qualified yet. So, interest is one thing, eligibility is one thing. In that, if I cultivate that interest in spiritual path, if that interest is there, eligibility also I will start cultivating. I will start doing what it requires to fulfill that desire, to fulfill that interest. That you can apply that in anything. Interest is the driving factor. Desire is the driving factor. Ruchi and samarthya. Ruchi is the driving factor. Then one will cultivate the samarthya. Sometimes we start cultivating samarthya because of some whatever external pressure or somebody pushed me that you must do this. So I get into it and then I may discover some ruchi for it. That also is possible. And sometimes I cultivate ability also, but I have no interest. That is called paradharma. In the wrong place one is. One is cultivating some qualifications and getting some degrees and going into some profession and working also, but one's heart is not there in that. That's why frustration, etc. happens. If one belongs, if one is in the place where one belongs truly, where one's heart is, when one interest is, there one will enjoy that work. That is Swadharma. So here Arjun, he says that I want to see. That's my deep desire. I have that ruchiya. Now I want to see. And it's not some passing phase. Deeply he wants. Then he says, but if you feel I am ready, if you feel I am capable, manyase yadi tat shakyam, if it is possible, maya drashtumiti prabho. He says prabho. Prabho means one who is most powerful, the Lord, for whom nothing is impossible. You are Prabhu, you are all pervasive, you are omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. For you, nothing is impossible. But if you feel that it is possible for me, then you please show me. This is a humility. That humility has to come. Bhagavad Darshan, when we want, we should be ready to drop ourselves fully, zero. Then Bhagavad Darshan will happen. Now, when Arjun says this, he says Yogeshwara. So he uses different words for Bhagavan. So Prabhu means all powerful. Yogeshwara means you are the Lord of Yoga. Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga. He is the Lord of all the yogas. This is the difference. Earlier he was seeing Krishna as a charioteer. Now he is seeing Krishna as a Yogeshwara, the Lord of all the yogas. He says you are Yogeshwara. You can bless the devotee with whatever is that temperament of the devotee, accordingly make the devotee ready and give that spiritual fulfillment or the darshan to the devotee as per whatever the devotee wants. So, O Yogeshwara, O Prabhu, if you feel I am capable, then tato me tvam darshaya, please you reveal the form. What form? Atmanam avyayam, the imperishable form. Meaning the whole srishti comes and goes. No? So when he says that entire creation is one small part of his infinite form, I want to see that infinite form which doesn't perish. So he will see now in the entire creation, so many things happening. And so when Arjuna has said this, Um, Arjuna is not asking for formless darshan. Arjuna is not asking for Ishtarup darshan. Arjuna is asking for Vishwarup darshan, which is again very unique. And when Arjuna is asked with so much of sincerity and so much of love, Bhagwan does not say, wait. See, when Bhagwan, when it is said, so many saints, they say that you take one step towards God, God will take 10 steps towards you. That is a fact. It is literally here you will see in this 11th chapter. That's what happens. When Arjun said, if it is possible, you please show me, immediately Bhagwan showed. Instant, you see this? Because it's a humble request of an earnest, sincere seeker. Bhagwan fulfilled. See, Gurudev has written so beautifully. It's like the connection given between the verse number 4 and 5, the last one, which is again, Shankaracharya also writes that. So Shankaracharya, what he wrote, based on that, Gurudev has written this connection here. So the humble request of an earnest student never falls on deaf ears if it is made to a true teacher. This is a true teacher. Bhagavan is the teacher of all teachers. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. And is a humble request of an earnest student. The teacher will extend himself or herself. The true teacher will be like that, who will extend himself or herself to any extent to ensure that the student gets the knowledge, understands, absorbs, applies, transforms, all that. So when Arjun asks sincerely, Arjun is not sitting on judgment on himself. He knows that there are limitations, but he is not hesitant to say that, please show me the form. He doesn't say, I will purify myself first and then come, then you show me. I know I am not pure yet. That is Bhagwan's job. He will only do that also. He will only make the devotee ready also. And you see the eagerness of Bhagwan here. He didn't wait for making the devotee ready. First he showed the form because devotee asked. Bhagwan said, Tathastu. That's why Gurudev used to say, you be very alert. What you ask from Bhagwan, because Bhagwan knows to say Tathastu. Whatever you ask, he will say Tathastu. So Arjun said, Drashtum ichchami te rupam. Now Bhagwan showed. See this fifth one. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Pashya me Partha Rupani Shatashotha Sahasrashaha Nana Vidhani Divyani Nana Varna Kriti Nicha. So this is called Palak Me Jhalak. In one instant, full glimpse, Bhagwan gave straight away. Pashya me Partha Rupani. He says, oh Partha, see. He had asked one, no? He says, see infinite. Look at that. Pashya me Partha Rupani Shatashota Sahasrashaha. What a beautiful thing. By hundreds and thousands. What? Nana Vidhani, Divyani. Divine forms of different types. Nana Vidhani. They are not ordinary forms. They are not made up of the 5 elements that you and I see as the, the gross 5 elements in the world. They are divine forms. In Shankaracharya's commentary, he writes that as aprakritani, meaning not made from ordinary prakriti, the material that you and I can perceive through our eyes. They are resplendent divine forms. Aprakritani. Nana vidhani, divyani. Divyani means that, divine forms. Nana varna kriti nicha, of different colors, different shapes. Many, many divine forms he is seeing. Not one Vishwarupa alone. He is seeing countless number of divine forms of different colors, sizes, shapes. Pashyame Partha Rupani Shatashotha Sahasrashaha Nana Vidhani Divyani Nana Varna Kritini Cha. This is Ashcharya. This wonder. Ashcharya is wonder. So the word Ashcharya is split as this. iti charya, iti ascharya. When one sees, oh, if you see sometimes such glorious sights, sometimes the birds are flying, the sun is, rising or the setting or some glorious waterfall and some few things simultaneously if you see, then one is like spellbound. Sometimes words also will not come. Mouth is just open, gasping. What is this? So grand, so majestic, so glorious. Now, in one aspect of creation, we see this and we become like that. He is seeing so many sights like that, Arjun, and Bhagwan is showing him one after the other. He is not stopping. He is not saying that, Arjun, I will give you sequentially, slowly from small to big, I will show you the form. No, straight away Bhagwan showed him everything. As though, the veil is lifted. And suddenly you see what is behind. Vivekananda actually says that about realization. He says, as though a veil is lifted, suddenly everything is evident. Earlier there was a veil, and that's why the word in Vedanta also is avarana. Avarana means a veil. The moment that veil is removed, it's evident, absolutely evident as it is. It's just like that, as though Bhagavan removed the veil and then suddenly showed so many divine forms. And then he says further, what are the forms that he is showing? Pashyadityan vasun rudran ashvinau marutastatha bahunyadrishta purvani pasyascharyaani bharata. Pashya means, oh Arjun, see what? Adityan, the 12 Adityas. Vasun, 8 Vasus. Then Rudran, 11 Rudras. Ashwinau, 2 Ashwini Kumars. Together these become 33. They are the 33 categories of Devatas. We have seen that in 10 chapters, so I'm not going into the detail of this. Who are the 12 Adityas and 8 Vasus and 11 Rudras and Ashwini Kumars are 2. So total is 33. And then he separates Marutas. That also we have seen. Marutas Tatha. 49 Marutas are there. And they are separate category of beings, so he doesn't mix them with this. So he says Marutas Tatha. He says you see all of them. You see Maruts, 49 Maruts and 33 types of gods. All these are the splendorous forms that he is seeing. Bahunya Drishta Purvani. Never such things have been seen. Adrishta Purvani. So many of these, they have never been seen. Nobody has seen this type of a Vishwarup Darshan that Arjuna is able to see. Bahuni Adrishta Purvani. Pashya Ascharyani Bharata. And see these wonder of wonders, O Bharata. Oh, he is born in Bharat Kula, na? So, O Bharata. Ascharya, that's what I was saying. That Ascharya is, you will see now. Iti Charya. Gurudev used to say, wonder is that emotion where the intellect will get benumbed. That's the expression he uses, benumbed. Intellect gets benumbed, meaning the limited individuality one transcends. In that moment of wonder, one has transcended that individuality, one is in a different realm altogether. And that is what will lead the person finally to realization also. That's why in the second chapter it comes, that Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam. Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanya. That one sees this with great wonder, the state of realization. One speaks of it with great wonder. It's a great wonder. Somebody has realized the truth. Somebody is able to explain it. All that beautiful verse there. And so, Arjun is seeing. Sanjay also saw, obviously, because he has the Divya Darshan, Divya Chakshu. Vedavyasji also saw. Hanumanji also saw. So, technically, if you ask, there are 4 people who saw. Otherwise, literally speaking, it is right in front of Arjun, Bhagavan is showing. And it's not Arjun is seeing other than himself out there. This Vishwarup includes him also. You will see as you go along. Hey, this Vishwarup is like a all-round everything encompassed, time, space, everything compact in one. And he is also a part of that. He will see. Nowadays we have all this, so glasses that we have. So 2D world, we see some things, then we see putting on the 3D glasses, then you see 3D experience. Now today they call immersive experience. So you put on that VR set, put that phone or put that whatever that software is, and then you see, then you will feel you are a part inside, and you can move around and you will see the whole 360-degree view and immersive experience. Bhagwan gave more than immersive experience to Arjun. That's the Vishwarup Darshan. So he gave, straight away he gave. Then he realized that Arjun is not able to see. Bhagwan says Pashya, but Arjun can't see anything because he's not ready. More of that we will continue now in our next class. For today, I will stop here. So those of you who have joined new, all these recordings are there in one particular Google Drive folder. That link has been shared. If you miss any time, you please go there and check out the recording. Once the talk is over, another 1 or 2 days maximum, it will go up and you can access. So each talk or recording we are not sending and it will not come to you separately, individually. You have to go to the recording folder and access it. So that's about this, and we thank all our Yajmans, Mukhya Yajmans for this, all the sessions. Parag Wagh, Kalpana Morvaria ji, Hemant Kumar Ruya ji, Bharat Khanna ji, Achyutan Nair ji, Nandita Parekh ji, our Geeta Aarti Yajmans for all the sessions, Vipul Dalal ji, Nalini ji, Surbhi Ashar, Rajan Saxena ji, Sapna ji, Dipti ji, Jolly ji, Ajay ji, Kirit Vora ji, Garima ji, Jayashri ji, Jyotsna ji, Hem Thakore ji, Vijaya Bhatia ji, and Vinu Munshi ji. Our Dainik Yajman for today, Deepak Desai ji, Manjari Parekh ji, and Anita Mahesh ji. And our Geeta Aarti Yajmans for today, Leena Chandwani ji, Rita Vishwanath ji, and Lata Shri ji. So we invoke God's grace, Gurudev's blessings on all of them, their families, and everyone present here. May Bhagwan bless us with that sincere desire to have darshan of Bhagwan in whichever form we like, and may we have the clarity, the purity and dexterity that Arjun had, and may we come to ultimately realize our oneness with Bhagwan. May the moha in us also be destroyed, and may we come to realize the true nature of Bhagwan and the self. Om Tat Sat.
ओम जय भगवत की
Astam. I don't know what is happening, why this sharing is not happening properly. There's some issue with the Zoom, I think. I'm just going to share it from outside anyways.
Om Jai Bhagavati Hari Sundar Sundari Om Jai Bhagavati धर्म सुमर्म प्रकाशिनी कामाचार्य तत्वज्ञान विराशिनी विद्या ब्रह्म परा ओम जय भगवती निश्चल भक्ति विधारिणी निर्मलहारिणी शरण रहस्य प्रदायिनी सब विधि सुखकारी ओम जय भगवती रागद्वेष विहारिणी तारि मोल सदा भवभयहारिणी परमानंद प्रदा ओम जय भगवती आसुर भाव विनाशिनी नाशिनी कमरजनी दैवी सद्गुणदायिनी हरिरसिका सजनी ओम जय भगवती समता त्याग सिखावनी हरिमुख की वाणी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी श्रुतियों की रानी ओम जय भगवती दया सुधा बरसावनी मात कृपा की जय हर प्रदान कर अपनो कर लीजय ओम जय भगवती ओम जय भगवती ओम जय भगवती ओम जय भगवती बोलिए गीता मैया की जय
बोलिए श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. Yes, if anybody has any questions, you can raise your hands. Yes, Ajay ji.
Swamiji, am I audible?
Yeah.
Swamiji, this when Lord Krishna goes to Dhritarashtra's court also, and he's trying to stop the war. At that point also, he manifests in his cosmic form. I'm not sure whether he did it out of anger or whatever, but when they try and arrest him, he manifests. But Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan both are too blind to see that. And this thing, Arjun also, who's on a lot of this thing parameters, a little similar to Duryodhan as a Kshatriya, all that is there, but his mind is very pure and he's instantly getting all this knowledge, while both father and son are not, they're completely deprived of this knowledge. So how do we reflect on this, and what are our blind spots which is preventing us from having a mind like Arjun? There is something that is missing. So how do we reflect on this?
So the answer is in your question only. Dharma has to be followed. And a person who follows dharma, Arjun followed dharma his whole life. And Arjun developed that bhakti for Bhagwan also, and he did his duties, he did his He developed single pointedness as well as purity both. And with such a mind, he surrendered to Bhagwan also. And because of that, and he is open now to receive the knowledge, ready to let go of his wrong notions, transform himself. He's not holding on to his identities, his raga, dvesha, all that. He's letting go. And that's why he's able to lift himself up and up. So those are the things that we have to do, which the others didn't do. They did not surrender, they did not have open mind, they did not ask, they did not have humility, they did not learn to let go of their attachments. So that's what has to be done.
But
And
aren't there instances also where Arjun also wants to break the dharma, but because of his brother Yudhishthir, he kind of is still bound by dharma. When they have to help Duryodhan in the battle and all, and
so,
they are angry with him. Yeah,
no, so that is true. So it is not that the person who is dharmic will not have ups and downs. The mind will have temptations, the mind will have some raga and dvesha, but the person is still able to follow dharma in spite of that and not fall for that raga and dvesha. So when Yudhishthir tells him that you have to go and release Duryodhan from, the Gandharva Chitraratha, they go. Even though they don't like it, they still go. That means they have valued dharma more than raga and dvesha, right?
true.
That is one aspect. Second aspect also is when he has surrendered to Bhagwan finally, in the second chapter, 7th verse, from then onwards, he is open in his mind.
Yeah.
And so we have to see also that aspect. Ups and downs will happen, but anchoring in dharma is most crucial. It's not that a dharmic person will not make a mistake, can make a mistake, can also fall. But one doesn't justify the fall, one repents, one comes out of it, one is ready to change. All that happens, that those are the qualities you see in Arjun. And that's how finally he is able to come to this state where his desire is intensely to see Bhagwan now. So that's the purification of the mind, and that's what will lead. If my raga and dvesha is become weaker, then only this will happen. That's why that Tulsidas ji's line that moha gaye binu Rama pada hoena dridha anurag. So that moha has to go. That world is more
Yeah.
powerful, more important. We give less priority to Bhagwan, more priority to the world. Those things have to change. Even if I serve the world, I serve as a service to Bhagwan. That is a bhav.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi.